So, ready for a little walk in the Manchester wind?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Do you, I mean, it's a bit of an obvious one really, but do you still find yourself arriving basically for work at a place like this, and look at the facilities, it's Manchester United, and just feel like a lucky guy?
No,
Do you still get that feeling?
As a footballer, you're always lucky because normally you can make your job doing what you love, you know.
Yeah.
So I think in general, I'm quite happy that I have the opportunity to play in general football for my job, but also to play for these big clubs. Now Manchester United, and yeah, I'm still really happy and I'm feeling like a really lucky guy.
How important is it not to lose that love? Because you do a job that, let's face it, all of us wanted to do, all the guys behind the camera right now, we all dreamt of being footballers. We weren't talented enough. You were. But just to not lose that magic, that dream, keep enjoying it, because you can imagine with the 4 clubs you played for, how it is with Manchester United now, the pressure, the scrutiny, it's possible to lose a bit of love for that, and you look at some players and sometimes feel that maybe they have a little bit.
Yeah, no, of course, it's always tough, especially what you say with the pressure, and you're normally not playing like when you were a kid, you know, like you were just having fun, just playing without pressure, just doing what you love. And obviously, when you get older, there's more pressure. There are bigger clubs. There's a lot of media also.
Yeah.
And I think
we're paying, aren't we?
And I think it's quite normal that it sometimes gets a little bit to your head. And yeah, I think it's the most important thing is what you say, like to keep this in mind, that you're still this young kid who loves to play football, who loves to train every day, and who doesn't need extra motivation to do the trainings or stuff like that.
I saw another interview that you did actually fairly recently, since you've been a United player, and you were talking about the move from Ajax to Juve, and you said, I wasn't allowed to be a kid when I was still a kid. Remember saying that?
Yeah.
I made me feel kind of a little bit sad, actually. Do you know what I mean? That you know, all of us, especially as teenagers, kind of make mistakes in life and at work, and just to think that you had all those bits of your life play out in public kind of made me see it from another perspective, made me think actually how tough some of that must have been.
Yeah, no, of course, it has been tough. Obviously, going to another country at 19 years of age, learning a new language, not getting the time to get used to a new country, new league, new club, with a lot of criticism in the beginning if you made a mistake. So yeah, as a young kid, this is quite difficult, and yeah, it's always hard, I think, for a new player to go to a new club or a new country, but especially at this age, it's more difficult.
And it's this is a young guy, let's give him time. We're Juventus, it's 75 million. He's got to be a superstar from minute one, basically.
Yeah, no, but obviously that's also why they bought you for this amount. So you know that this pressure is there, and you have to perform right away. But I think what I also said in that interview is that sometimes it would have been nice for me, I think, as a footballer to develop to have maybe a little bit more of these years where you can really focus on developing, you know what I mean, and instead of performing right away. But in the end, I'm really happy and grateful the way everything worked out, and yeah, I learned also a lot from it. So it's not only that I'm feeling sad for myself that I didn't have this youth. So
Ajax, Juve, Bayern, United, 4 huge monster clubs. Is the pressure the same everywhere, or slightly different from club to club, country to country?
Well, I think I've been lucky to play for probably the 4 biggest clubs in every country. So in every club the pressure is the same. The pressure is high. You have to win. I mean, Ajax, if you don't win, the supporters are. I've experienced once that the supporters were waiting before the stadium when we came back after a loss away, and they were really angry at us, and we had to go out of the bus. So, yeah, that's also happening in Holland. In Juventus, you know, the Italians, they are really passionate about football. So, yeah, you can be an absolute hero, or you can be an absolute, yeah.
Well, we were talking off camera, weren't we, about some of the questions Jordan Henderson has had recently. You can see that it's not like you start at a club as big as Ajax and it's a walk in the park. Absolutely the opposite.
No, and I think the only difference between Ajax and, for example, Manchester United is that it's more worldwide. I think United has such a big fan base all around the world, so I think you can feel it, especially nowadays with the social media, that it's a really big difference. I think before maybe the players couldn't really feel this difference because obviously social media was not so big at that time. But especially now on social media and with all the fans from all the other countries, obviously you feel that United is one of the biggest clubs in the world.
For sure. Do you think you're better, stronger, have learnt more from having been at 4 big clubs already? I'm sure you you see the comments, hear people say, 4 clubs, he's only 25. Why is that? Is that a negative? How do you react to it?
No, I can imagine that people think this way. I think I'm a better player than I was 19, just because the fact I have more experience. I've played, what you said, in really big clubs, and I think also that every step I made had a meaning behind it. I mean, I went from Ajax to Juventus to learn to play in a different country on a higher level, and that went actually quite well. Obviously, if you're that young, it's not that easy, but I think the first season we became champion. I played, I think, almost every game in the end. Second season, third season was also quite okay, good from an individual perspective. Then I went to Bayern because I had the feeling with Bayern it was another step above. They just won the Champions League, so I felt like this could be a really good step for me. Had 2 really nice years at Bayern, winning the league. But also last season we were really close to play the Champions League final. Then the summer Manchester United came, and it was always for me a dream to play in the Premier League, also to kind of see how you do compared to the other guys in the Premier League. So that was also for me in the end an easy decision to make.
But it was interesting to hear you say that for all you've experienced, the 3 massive clubs that have come before, maybe the pressure here is the highest. And I think you said that had you come here, maybe say direct from Ajax, you might not cope with it, you felt.
Yeah, I think that, let's say this way, I think the pressure is everywhere the same. The only difference is that obviously this season the pressure, the expectations from everybody, we are underperforming in that way, so you feel more pressure. Let's say this way.
I see.
So that makes everything a little bit bigger. That makes the feeling of pressure bigger. But what I said, I think in every club there's a lot of pressure, and it's the same in this club.
Do you think? I mean, probably at the moment, it's fair to say it feels like you're a long way off from what Manchester United would hope to be and maybe expect to be. But do you also think sometimes you're not as far away as you think? I think you've spoken in the past, you had a difficult season with Ajax, and then all of a sudden you win Eredivisie, you're not a million miles away from winning the Champions League. Equally the reverse side of that, your first season at Juve, it's 9 in a row for the title, and it looks like Juve will win the Serie A forever, and they haven't won it since. So football's not always as kind of locked in as you think. No, definitely. And what you said really well was like Juventus, they won 9 in a row, and I think now for 5 years they hadn't won it. So maybe everybody was expecting, it will keep going like this. But what I say, football changed, and I think the most important thing is, especially if you start from scratch, is to give yourself time, to give yourself the right tools and the right environment to grow. And as you said, in football, everything can change really quickly. Do you feel like that is the case at the moment? Like you've got the right tools as a team, like you are in the right environment, that maybe, as we've discussed, you're not as far away as it looks. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel that you're training every day to improve as a team, to improve individually. Obviously, the manager came in. He's now here for 4 months, and I think we made some improvement compared to the first games. Obviously, we still have to improve a lot more because we're still in the 13th place in the league. I think you can see in the Europa League that we we were winning all the games. Also in the cups, in the FA Cup, we're still there. So yeah, you can see some improvement, but I think the improvement most times will come after certain months, after a long time, because I think if there's an improvement made in the first weeks, first months, it means like it's more of a shock effect instead of really improving as a team. So I think this improvement we still have to be made, and hopefully we can continue like this and improve even more.
What's Ruben Amorim like to work with, particularly out on these training pitches? Because I mean, I've just interviewed him a few minutes ago. He's an incredible communicator, but obviously at the moment that's not being reflected in the results.
Yeah, no, he's really well spoken, as you said, like really communicative. It's really easy to talk to him also. On the pitch, he's really demanding from us. He really demands 100% every moment. A lot of sprinting, a lot of high intensity. So that's basically how I would describe him. And I like the way I like it. I like a trainer who can speak well, with who you can have a normal conversation. So yeah, that's all quite good.
So since you've been here, how many questions have you had about three at the back?
A lot.
And is it different?
Yeah, it is different, but
because defending the 1v1s in wide areas, what's the biggest change?
Yeah, to be fair, that's not so much different, because I think if you play four in the back, you also come in these situations. But yeah, there's always talk about different systems. Obviously, it's a little bit different. Otherwise, it's not a different system. But the most important thing is how you fulfill these positions, how you work together as a group, I think, and then the system shouldn't be that big of a matter.
Yeah, do you think actually that like, talk of formations almost become a little bit outdated? Certainly, probably actually in England more than the Netherlands, formations would often be quite rigid, 4-4-2, but actually now you're building up in a different shape. You then, when the opposition's got the ball, you switch shape again. So perhaps kind of just the way we do lining up a team on a graphic, it doesn't quite work like that anymore. And maybe that's even changed since you've been a player.
Yeah, to be fair, like when I came through, I was 2016, I think. Tactics were obviously every coach had a tactic, but it was not so advanced as right now. Right now, I have the feeling that it's all tactic and everything is tactic. Even in corner kicks, you have like tactics, and throw-ins, you have tactics. You know, like 8 years ago, that was, for my feeling, not the case.
You sound like an old veteran now, Mathias.
I feel like one sometimes, but I think tactics are. We speak a lot about tactics, but in the end, tactics are always the second most important thing. I think the most important thing is how the behavior on the pitch, like how you work, how you sprint, how bad you want to win. You know what I mean? And then the tactic comes second. You can have amazing tactics, but if the team is not performing well, if the team doesn't have the confidence or the will to win the games, it's going to be really difficult.
So last one, I think. How hard are you and your teammates and the manager, everyone else concerned with the first team, working out on these training pitches to get results better, to get Manchester United back to where, you'd all think they belong?
No, I think we work really hard. We work, especially on the days when we have the possibility to train really hard, because obviously we played a lot of games, so then it's not really smart to train really hard. So especially the days that we can train really hard, we train really hard. Maybe if I speak for myself in my career, maybe even the hardest trainings I've had. So this is for sure the case. We're working really hard to get United back where it belongs, but as we know in football, it's a big operation, I think, to get United back where it belongs, and this takes time. And what I said, we work as hard as possible, and with the manager also, and hopefully we can keep improving step by step.
Should we run indoors?
Yes, thank you.
Before our ears fall off.